Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing my September stats and standouts. So I'm going to be going over all of the statistics for all of the books that I read this month. If you already watched my wrap-ups, this might not be interesting to you, but I know some of you guys really just like to hear the books that I read, the statistics of what I read, and then my 5 standouts for the month. In September, I read a total of 36 books in 11,817 pages, which holy cow, that is amazing. I'm really proud of myself. I did really good this month. And then for star distribution, I read 8 5-star reads, 11 4-star reads, 13 3-star reads, 4 2-star reads, and luckily no 1-star reads. These are a little skewed because I round up or down on Goodreads, so it's not accurately displaying all of my star distributions, but it gives me a really good idea. It looks like I had mostly 3-star reads, which is kind of a bummer, but I did have a lot more 5-star reads than I did in August, so I'm really happy about that. And then for genre distribution, I read 17 romances, 15 thrillers, and 4 contemporaries, and I'm really sad to say that I read no historical fiction, so I'm definitely going to change that this month. And then for the source of those books, I read 6 books from my library, 12 books on my ebook, and that includes Kindle Unlimited books, 6 books from my shelves, and 12 ARCs, and all of those ARCs were also on my Kindle. And then I'm quickly going to go over all the books that I read and their star ratings. The first book I read was Taken to the Grave by M.M. Chenard, and I gave this 3 stars. Mouth to Mouth by Tessa Bailey, I gave this 3 stars. Here to Stay by Mark Edwards, I gave this 4 stars. Say You Still Love Me by K.E. Tucker, I gave this 3 stars. The Poison Garden by A.J. Banner, I gave this 3 stars. Good Boy by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, I gave this 5 stars. The Hardest Fall by Ella Mays, I gave this 4 stars. One Night Gone by Tara Laskowski, I gave this 3 stars. Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center, I gave this 4.5 stars. Apple of My Eye by Claire Allen, I gave this 3.5 stars. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, I gave 3 stars. The Arrangement by Robin Harding, I gave 3 stars. Neat by Candy Steiner, I gave 4.5 stars. The Passengers by John Mars, I gave 5 stars. The Breakup Bet by Kat Carmine, I gave 4 stars. The Dugout by Megan Quinn, I gave 4 stars. The Sleepover by Carol Wire, I gave 2.5 stars. One Short Summer by Jasmine Miller, I gave 4 stars. Lost You by Halen Beck, I gave 4 stars. Let's Get Textual by Tegan Hunter, I gave 4.5 stars. Dear Wife by Kimberly Bell, I gave 4.5 stars. Husband Material by Emily Belden, I gave 2 stars. Rustic Hearts by Amber Kelly, I gave 4.5 stars. 13 by Steve Kavanaugh, I gave 2 stars. The Chain by Adrienne McKinty, I gave 3.5 stars. Perfectly Adequate by Jewel E. Ann, I gave 3 stars. A Wedding in December by Sarah Morgan, I gave 4 stars. The Wives by Taryn Fisher, I gave 5 stars. The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye, I gave 2 stars. How to Walk Away by Catherine Center, I gave 5 stars. The Bromance Book Club, I gave 4 stars. In Her Eyes by Sarah Alderson, I gave 3 stars. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, I gave 4.5 stars. Coming Up Roses by Stacey Hart, I gave 3 stars. Pretty Guilty Women by Gina LaManna, I gave 3.5 stars. Until I Fall by Claudia Bergoa, I gave 2 stars. And for my 5 standouts of the month, I think it would be no surprise that at my #1 spot would be The Wives by Taryn Fisher. I read this one for Contemporary-a-thon and I was blown away. This is one seriously messed up book. It's about our main character whose husband is a polygamist and he has 2 other wives that he sees on separate days of the week. And for years she has had no idea who they are or what they do, what their names are, but all of a sudden she discovers a receipt in her husband's pants and now she's thrust into wondering who these women are and she kind of becomes obsessed. And we go from there, and this one was so twisty. I couldn't guess what was happening half the time and what was the truth and what was not. And I really love Taryn Fisher's writing, so this one I think would be my absolute favorite of the month. And then maybe tied for first place would be The Passengers by John Mars. This one just came out in August and I loved it. It is a sci-fi thriller about 8 individuals who are in self-driving vehicles and they are on a collision course to die. And they are being broadcasted on TV and people are having to vote for who dies first and who gets to live. And this was so heart-pumping. It is a true thriller. And it feels kind of like an episode of Black Mirror, so if you love Black Mirror, you'd probably also love this one. And then one of the most heartbreaking and touching stories I read this month was How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. I believe this one came out in 2018 and it was really popular and I just now got around to reading it. And this follows a woman who her best and worst day of her life happen on the same day. She goes up in a plane with her boyfriend who is soon to be certified as a pilot. He proposes mid-air and of course she says yes, but soon after they crash and she gets really injured during the crash and she is hospitalized and she can no longer walk and she has severe burns. and she really discovers who her fiance is, and she's trying to tackle a new way of life, and she becomes friends with her physical therapist, and of course there's a little romance there. And this one was so emotional and very impactful, so if you need a good cry, I highly recommend picking this one up. And then one of my favorite more steamier reads was Good Boy by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the WAG series, and it is a spin-off of the Him and Us duet. So I was really excited because I loved the Him and Us duet that I read earlier this year. And this is about our heroine, who is the sister to one of the characters in the Him and Us duet. And she is planning their wedding, and the best man in the wedding is one of the teammates of the groom. And he is this goofball hockey player, and the two of them have previously hooked up, so when they get back together at this wedding, it's kind of awkward, but they can't deny that they have this physical attraction, and they think they're never really going to see each other again. But our heroine, she ends up moving to Canada for nursing school, and that is where our hero lives, and it is their romance. And this one was so funny, so if you like comedic books, I think you'd really like this one. It has a great level of steaminess. Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen know how to write, and this one was just so good. I loved our hero. If you like a goofy hero, I think you would love this one, and I couldn't recommend it more. And then my last standout of the month is Neat by Candy Steiner. This is the second book in the Becker Brothers series, and our hero in this story is one of the Becker brothers, and he is the tour guide at a whiskey distillery. And his family helped create this whiskey distillery, and now the families that created this distillery are rivaling, and the boss's daughter gets hired on at the distillery, and she will be working with our hero as a tour guide. And they kind of get things off on the wrong foot, but of course it is their romance, and it's really good. Our hero in this story, he is really smart and very bookish. He loves to read. And our heroine is very artsy and very strong-willed, and them together were so perfect. Their physical and emotional chemistry was great. So this one I would also highly recommend. So those are all my stats for the month of September, as well as my 5 standout reads for the month. I would love to hear if you've read any of these books and if you loved them. I will link them all down below, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.